Here's one of the things I wanted to react to is this. We'll go ahead and give this guy a watch.
Now, I understand why he's on.
All right, let me just start this off with, I will be a little bit biased here. I'm a big fan of Asmongold. That being said, I'm going to tackle both of them because I think Asmongold's really
Happy. I think that if I was him.
Oh, wait! Why didn't he play that?
I understand why he's unhappy. I think that if I was him.
Oh, wait! Why didn't he play that fully? Wait! Why did he skip through it? Fuck it, I'm saying it. Yeah, bring back shame, please. It is becoming increasingly crazier and crazier. Things are getting wilder, dude. How much of your viewership is going to drop once all of us on meds get sent to work camps RFK Jr. wants? I don't know. I think I'll probably go to jail before then. Also, I like that you think that, you know, I'm not going to the camps either. If we end up in the same work camp, can I on the liberal side? I won't even name them, but I'll name one of them, Sex Pestiny, for example, in his community. Because Sony couch where the leather has basically become your second skin, where you're just like melting into the couch, and then you use like your little Xbox controller to use the drones. You still have to do like military drills and stuff, even in the Air Force, the Chair Force. I'm also saying he's not the biggest political commentator is crazy too. No, Asmongold 100% is the largest political commentator on this platform. I don't think he wants.
You can call him the largest political content creator if you want. He's been definitely bigger than you for a reason, but yeah, I wouldn't call him political. I'd just call him a gaming channel.
On it, he had a dream of being like the largest political commentator on the platform, but he did become it. It was, however, the wishes of many other people. Many other people, like a lot of my naysayers on the liberal side. I won't even name them, but I'll name one of them, Sex Pestiny, for example.
So he thinks Destiny caused Asmongold to get big, huh? That seems crazy. I don't know. I mean, honestly, Asmongold just got big on YouTube out of nowhere. And it's all from YouTube, not from Twitch.
Example, in his community, consistently created allegiances and used every moment that they could to disparage figures that they considered to be the true threat to liberal values. People like myself. I agree with you, but post Asmon's rise, once they realized the Frankenstein had been created, they've been relatively critical of him.
Hopefully that's better.
Except they also do still cherish and celebrate when Asmongold takes pot shots against me. Because a lot of these people, no matter how hard they act like they're liberals, still care about.
Asmongold has defended him way more than he should have. What is he talking about? Hasan really pisses me off because he'll go and say, "Oh, look at me, I'm the victim," and then he'll take pot shots at someone else when Asmongold barely takes pot shots at him. If anything, he'll just say, "Yeah, he's in a fucking circle. He doesn't have any outside opinions, and he's interviewing a terrorist, which is bad." I mean, okay, not bad, but he glazed him so fucking hard. Let's just be honest. He fucking sucked that man's cock so hard. I thought I was watching a gay porn video. But regardless, I mean, Asmongold had your back, basically.
About drama more, and they still care about disparaging content creators that they feel have wronged their intellectual titan. That's the thing about being in a cult-like community. But, you know, they got it. This is what they wanted for, and they got it. So I don't know why they're complaining. Here's a person correctly talking about what the Nazis had done in terms of the first famous book burning that they engaged in, which was a library, a German library filled to the brim with medical research and data about trans people and queer people in general in Germany.
The Nazis. They give a source, the Holocaust Memorial Day Trust. Don't know how trustful it is. I'll believe him for now.
Trans people and queer people.
Believe it or not, I don't have the facts off the top of my head.
In general, in Germany.
The Nazis burned books on gender sciences.
They did do that.
Correct.
They did do that, yes. You want to know why they did that? Because they were burning all books. They were burning all books that weren't German or seen as German enough. Everything went. Not just your little gender study books.
Asmon is correct. Good start. You know what's really funny? If you clip Asmongold out of context, it sounds normal and good.
He sounds normal and good regardless of when you clip him. Oh my god.
When you show additional context, it turns into the diametrical opposite, which is fun. Like, from my ideological perspective.
Bro, you're literally. If I clip you out of context or in context, you sound horrible. Like, your takes are not good.
Perspective. Maybe not from others, but if someone had clipped this in the first 12 seconds,
And if I clipped in context a full interview of you with that one guy, people would think I'm fucking clipping gay porn. Holy.
you're like, oh,
Because you were glazing him so hard.
good ending. Okay, great, cool. Which is ironic because my haters do that shit to me all the time where they clip me out of context.
My haters.
And then when you watch the longer footage, you're like, oh, never mind. I actually totally got this wrong.
I've never once seen a clip of Hasan out of context where when I watch the full context, it adds more to it. But hey, maybe I'm wrong.
Now the administration has villainized and marginalized migrant workers, trans.
It's a bit of a like, my understanding is that they burned them not because it was gender stuff, but because it was written in Jewish and not German.
Jewish isn't language, but it's fine. I get what he's saying. Anybody who says, oh, he said Jewish is so stupid. It's the same thing as saying, like, oh, they're speaking Chinese. Yes, I know you mean Mandarin. I personally will always use Mandarin. But some people just say Chinese and you get the point across, which is all you need to do. And I think he's laughing right now because he said Jewish, which is admittedly hysterical.
This gets me every time. Obviously, Jewish is not a language. Certainly wasn't written in Hebrew. What he might mean is
Why wouldn't it have been written in Hebrew?
Yiddish, but even then, it's most likely not the case that these books were written in Yiddish. But also, that was the argument that the Nazis had maintained.
Yes, because we're looking back on time, why they destroyed these books. We have to use their argumentation to understand why they did it.
Which was this research, whether it be for trans people, whether it be queer people, is un-German.
It wasn't the research itself, it was everything surrounding it. Yes, it's not because it was... I mean, maybe it was a little bit because they're gay or transgender sciences or whatever. I don't know what the hell they burned exactly, but they burned... And they burned everything! It's not just because of your little precious books.
Why do you keep saying it absolutely could have not been Hebrew? Because Hebrew was not a commonly used language until before 1948. Most German Jews...
I don't know how true that is. I'm not about to go on a 15-minute historical look of adventure. I'm editing my own videos, so I don't have the time for that.
Spoke German and Yiddish. It's not an academic language anyway. No academic would write a book in Yiddish. Also, Yiddish is just a dialect of German, so it's more like some specific words than an entire language. Exactly. Hebrew was not a vernacular language at the time. It was mostly, it was almost wholly liturgical. This is a
I could see that, but I also really doubt it.
liturgical language. It's like revitalizing Latin, okay?
Also, I would think that the Jews in German would speak German, but hey, whatever.
And then making it the common language. At that time,
But if they're burning books about Jews and Jews speaking their own language, it might be Hebrew. It might be in a liturgical language, as he likes to say.
it was simply religious scripture, religious text. It didn't have normal colloquial usage. This is something that Israel actually did.
Holy tongue was mainly used in prayers by Jewish community. I can't fact check. I can't say if this is wrong or right, but we'll see.
In terms of revitalizing Hebrew.
Maybe if I get enough viewers and likes on YouTube, viewers on Twitch and likes on YouTube, twitch.tv/Bumpierbag, we can hire an editor.
And making it...
And then I can put time into looking this stuff up while reacting.
The nation state's language after 1948. This is why I say there was no way that it was written in Hebrew. Now, of course, Asmongold doesn't know any of this, okay? We're not...
Yes, and just because you don't know it doesn't make you an idiot. By the way, you can be uninformed but still quick to learn. And if he just learns whatever the actual facts are, you're not stupid, which I think he's about to call Asmongold. We don't know.
Like, I'm trying to offer you additional context, and Yiddish in and of itself it's not a language that would be used in academic settings as a written language. It was just a variant of German almost, if that makes sense. Again, Asmongold said neither. He just said it's written in Jewish.
Why'd we go on this whole rant about languages, by the way? What the hell? We obviously know what he meant. He meant it is Jewish. He said it's Jewish, but he really means it is not German. Whether it's culturally not German, or not German as in the language, the Nazis didn't like it for both reasons. And they were crazy people.
Which is completely wrong. I'm also offering to you the additional context as to why it's wrong, giving you relevant historical data about the...
I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to look into it.
Language of Hebrew and where it got to, and what kind of dialects that German Jews had used. Okay, Jewish is not a language; it is an ethno-religion.
Focusing on that is so dishonest. I mean, it's funny. Okay, let's just laugh at it and move on. Like that doesn't take away from Asmongold's points at all.
Last but not least, the Nazis were the ones who claimed that this was un-German. Specifically,
Yeah, no shit. What's your point?
little-known guy by the name of Joseph Goebbels.
Don't know.
You don't have to apply their logic in the year 2025 when we already know that that was.
What do you mean? If you're looking back on history, you have to have an understanding of why these events went down, what their motive was, why they wanted to do this. He's not saying, oh, this is a good thing that they burned the books. Oh, yeah. It's great that they said that this isn't German. No, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing what they did to millions of people. But you still have to look back and think what their intentions were.
The wrong logic. The notion that, like, Jewish people are not German in.
I think, honestly, he does this a lot. It seems so dishonest to say, oh, you're being a Nazi. You're applying Nazi logic. This seems so dishonest. It's one of the ways I've observed that Hasan just lies to people and makes shit up. Because he'll get away with it because guess what? Nobody wants to be identified as a Nazi. Asmongold, I'm telling you right now, you are not a Nazi. What I will say... What I will say is you had a funny thing where you said it was a language that it wasn't. But you do also have to apply historical reasons for things happening. You have to think, why did the Nazis want to start World War II? You have to think, why did they burn the books? If you don't apply the reasoning, then we can't avoid that reasoning in the future. You can't just say, oh, you're applying that reason now, you're bad. No, he's trying to say this is why they did it in the past.
1934, 1935, 1938 was not correct. They were German.
He never said they were correct. See, he's like slow. He's like in a soft way, in a very subtle way, I feel like, trying to get his chat to think that Asmongold is being a Nazi. He's trying to say, oh, look at Asmongold. He's a Nazi sympathizer. He's using Nazi reasoning. No, he's just looking back on time and applying their logic to their scenario, saying this is why they did it. This is the reason that they did it. Not that it's good, not that it should have happened. In fact, if you ask Asmongold, I bet he would say everything they did was kind of horrible. He would say it shouldn't happen, but this is the reason why they did it. It's ridiculous. He's trying to manipulate his audience so hard.
German Jews, just like Jewish Americans are American Jews.
Yes, and we know that now, Hasan. But guess who didn't think that way back then? The Nazis. And you have to use their viewpoint when we say, why did they do something like this?
And they're not
ridiculous.
A specific subsect of society. They're not like, out there as a alien formation, as a separate group. So that's just something important to address, even though I never thought that it would be necessary to address.
And it was like a retake.
It's not necessary to address. I don't know why you went on that whole rant. We have to look at it from their point of view when addressing why they did something and what they did. Holy.
Taking of Germany for Germans. That was like the uprising of the Nazis. But like it was categorical for it not being written in German.
It was written in...
I don't think it's written. I don't think it's about being written in German. I think it's about it not being German culture, or by a true German, or in the German language. Really, there's so many umbrella things that it fell under back then. That, to my knowledge, that caught books. If it was not German culture, if it was not by a German author, a true German author, if it was not written in German, all these things were reasons to burn a book. Back then, it's not a reason to burn a book now, Hasan, before you take me out of context. Back then, it was many reasons to burn a book.
The other part of this is...
That does not mean that your books were targeted specifically to all the gay and transgender people out there. It just means everything was targeted. If everything is targeted, you're going to get some stragglers. You're going to get group with it. You're going to get every group outside of what you're not burning. They burned the books that weren't German. That means they're going to catch the books that were written by Africans. They're going to get the books that were written by the British. They're going to get the books that were written by the Russians. They're going to get the books that were written by the gays. They're going to get all these books burned, but they're not targeting any of them specifically. That doesn't make it good. That doesn't make it bad, but it means that you weren't targeted.
Is that even if the books weren't written in the German language, which they were, but even if they weren't written in the German language, that would still be fucking insane to just burn these books.
Yeah, another way he's manipulating his audience. He's not saying it wouldn't be insane to burn the books. He is saying that you were not targeted specifically. You fell under the umbrella. It sucks. You fell under the umbrella. The books should not have been burned, but you were not targeted specifically.
See, the
So many books were burned for different reasons.
benefit of learning about history is so that we, of course, in theory, don't repeat the mistakes of the past.
Which is why you have to use their reasoning when looking back. You could say that's not good, but this is what they thought.
That's number one. Number two, the second benefit of learning about history is that we don't have to assume the positions that the Nazi government took and take their marketing around the actions that they took.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say it was a marketing scheme that they burned all the books? Or are you trying to say that he's saying they're not German and saying that's a good thing? Like, whatever.
For granted, we don't have to take it at face value, is what I'm saying. Isn't this general knowledge? Is he pretending? I mean, to be fair, I don't think a lot of people knew that the first book burnings that took place in Nazi Germany were queer research. I was not even familiar with this.
I'm not familiar if it's the first, but I am sure, and I might be wrong, so I'm not going to say I'm 100% absolutely knowledgeable, that they burned a lot of different books the first book burning. And some of them just so happen to be queer research books.
You know,
whatever the fuck that means.
6 years ago. That was the first time I found out about it. I don't think it's like super commonly. I don't think it's super common knowledge. I'm sure queer people know because it's like queer history. W. Adolf, insane.
Queer history. W. Adolf is insane, but I think Asmongold banned all these people anyway. I saw a response video without seeing this.
But regardless, it doesn't matter. What matters is the truth. What matters is learning about what actually took place. I will repeat this once again. To claim that the Nazis actually burned these books because they were not German is to assume that Joseph Goebbels was correct in his assessment.
That is not... See, he's lying to his community so much to make himself look good or something. I don't know why he's doing it. What does it benefit you to lie? He is not doing it to suit. He's not saying Joseph Goebbels was correct. In fact, you can very much look at the reason they did this in the past and say it was wrong. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Why did Germans in 1933 burn books? Because it wasn't true German. It wasn't their culture, according to them. And it wasn't written in their language. You know, everything that was about taking Germany back for Germans. So anything that wasn't seen as German was basically kicked out. Now we know in the modern day that that's not correct. Everything written from a citizen from someone who grew up in that land, in that culture, is from that culture. If you're American, if you're Hispanic and you were born in America, grown up in America, you are American. If you write a book, it is American culture. If you write a song, it's American culture. But we still have to apply the backwards thinking. We have to look back and say, this is why they did it. It's wrong, though.
That you have, let's say, like a 1930s German nationalist style of thinking.
Asmongold does not have a 1930s national way of thinking. And I think that's so obvious, but I'm just pointing it out.
Take the Holocaust, for example. It would be akin to saying, well, the Jews that were sent to the concentration camps initially were not sent to the concentration camps on the virtue of being Jewish, but they were sent to the concentration camps on the virtue of being a parasitic force that was outside of the interests of German patriotism.
Because they were German, or because they weren't German. Yes, they were Jewish by definition back then. Not by definition now, but by their definition that they used back then was not German. This is why you have to apply their logic when looking to past, but still say it's bad. You can look back, say this is the reason, and say it's bad. Period. I know I've repeated myself a lot, but holy.
Understand? It's technically not incorrect if your assessment is what the Germans were thinking at the time, but it is.
Exactly. You have to think what they were thinking to get an understanding of why it happened, what was bad, and what thinking led to this, and why it's bad. Holy, you just said it, Hasan. Video over.
Incorrect if you are describing historical events in 2025. That was their.
You know how you describe historical events, and a big part for it is motive. You cannot break down why these things happened without their motive and without their train of thought.
Claim, and there is historical relevance and importance to address what they were saying, as long as you don't relitigate the Nazi framing.
You have he is saying what they thought. You mean, Hasan? Turn my head. I think he's so hard trying to lie to his chat.
As though that is the appropriate position. Do you think a streamer's chat is a one-to-one reflection of that streamer's beliefs?
No.
Absolutely not. And the reason for why I will say that is because there are plenty of people who don't agree with me, who fucking hate my guts, that come into this community.
All right, that's why he's saying it. Okay. No, the reason is because not every streamer is going to ban people that they don't agree with. And I'm pretty sure Asmongold is... I watch a lot of Asmongold. And I'm pretty sure he does not ban people who just don't agree with him. Say what you want about him, but... I mean, he keeps every opinion open. And only bans them if they're really rude.
All the time. There are hate raids that happen.
So naturally, he's going to have people who agree and don't agree.
I do, however, think that the streamer can try to do their very best within the limited confines of moderation to make sure that chat behaves a certain way.
Just like you did with Ethan Klein.
Or has certain opinions. A similar example.
I don't know. I would never censor my chat. Even if they disagreed with me. Even if they said I was having a hot take or anything like that. I don't think I would censor them because I'm not about that. I want to get along with people on both sides. I'm very much not my political opinions make me. Your political takes make you. Like, if Hasan could get over this political shit and wasn't such a bad guy on the service level, like if he said tomorrow, I apologize, or hey, Bump, let's talk about this. I'd be there. I'd talk about it.
Is when I sometimes talk about, well, I talk about Israel all the time, and in the process of me talking about Israel, there are sometimes chatters who get a little ahead of themselves, okay? And what do I do in that process? I click on their names, I pull them to the public square, and I give them a hefty little ban. This is what is known as pushback or housekeeping. Ironically enough, there are plenty of people that still turn around and say, I don't do any of that, as a matter of fact. I'm the most anti-Semitic community of all time. They will use the clip of you saying moderating the chat is hard. Yes, I know they will. And I will explain that position once again, as I have done time and time again, which is there is only so much moderation you can do if someone, for example, if Asmongold came up to me right now and said, hey, Hasan, your chat is calling me a Nazi sympathizer. I would...
You want to know why they called him a Nazi sympathizer? Because you're basically saying that. You're basically saying, oh, he's agreeing. He's not condemning it. He doesn't have to condemn it. Of course he thinks it's bad.
Say to Asmongold what I told Ethan at the time a long time ago, which is that if you walk like a duck and quack like a duck, there's only so much moderation I can do to stop people from assuming you're a duck.
Did he just call Asmongold a Nazi? I've never heard Asmongold say something so bad to Hasan that he just did about Asmongold. He just called Asmongold. Wow. That's crazy, Hasan. And that's a crazy accusation just to throw around. I don't know what it is people like Hasan, but they love to throw that around.
When you talk about Stalin, there are a lot of W's in the chat. Yeah, exactly. No, that.
And Stalin was a horrible guy, arguably worse than Hitler. It's very much up for debate whether the Japanese emperor was they're all three horrible people. And don't forget, Stalin teamed up with the Nazis. And there's a lot that I can attach Hasan to from the 1933 German way of thinking. I'm sorry.
That's great fucking example. I think you probably mentioned that as like an own or whatever, but yeah, no, that's a great fucking example. I don't have a fear of showcasing like socialist iconography or defending certain aspects of previous formations of socialist governance. There is plenty of criticism that is appropriate for Stalin, obviously. But in terms of,
Do it.
especially in the context of Nazi Germany, yeah, no, that is a W Stalin moment. That's a W Easy Company moment. That's W to the United States of America, and that's a certain
Stalin
W
was
for Stalin
teamed
as
up
well
with
in
the.
terms of
Oh my
ridding the
god.
world, at least for a brief moment, of the Nazi scourge. W England moment too, sadly, is true.
May I remind you, Hassan, because you wanted to talk about history so much. To take out, what was it, Norway? The Russians teamed up with them. The only reason they weren't a mega force and that Germany had to fight on two fronts is because Germany turned on them.
True. I hate to recognize that, especially, but yeah, it is true. As far as all of this goes, like, this is exactly what I warned ahead of time and time again, saying that if you even make jokes, edgy jokes, even whether you agree to it or not, edgy jokes that kind of make Nazis feel comfortable, you will develop an entire chat that says W based when talking about how Nazis were engaging in book burnings.
You are allowed to say edgy jokes. And also, with text, you lose a lot of context. So we don't know if those people were joking, if they were having a laugh or whatever. Should they get banned? Yes, because they are saying W based to Nazis, and you can't really tell without context if they're laughing, being funny. So they should get banned. But you should be allowed to joke about whatever. If there's going to be idiots who start to get Nazi ideology, then ban them and laugh at them as idiots, because it's not a good thing, obviously.
Of, you know, queer people in general. And of course, that's the first stage of this process, because what comes next, if you are familiar with history, is then taking some of that research, finding who the gay people were or who the trans people were in German society, and then
Again, I don't know how much of this is true, so I can't comment much on it. But I can say they very much umbrella got everybody, and the people who they found out were gays, they just might also tag them with pink triangles for who knows what reason. Maybe to keep them away from the other guys, maybe to make sure that they can't pleasure or do something with other gay people. Maybe it was to target them specifically. I don't know. Everybody was being targeted in Nazi Germany. It was a horrible time.
branding them with the pink triangle and then sending them to the death camps and killing them. And that's what happened. It's kind of
Again, they killed a lot of people in these camps. Mainly Jews, but a lot of people. It is weird that they gave him a pink triangle. I don't know if that's true. I don't know the extent to it. I don't know if it was a thing to keep them away from other gays or to keep them away from the other same gender or to target them out, or if they were faster disposed of than the other ethnic groups and cultures in the area. I don't know. But I do know that Umbrella, they got everybody who wasn't German, basically, or that wasn't contributing to the German force.
the real reason why you learn about the history of Nazi.
There are many reasons to label things, especially to them back then. So I don't know.
Nazi Germany. It's a reason why we have an entire field of study dedicated almost specifically to the Holocaust. There are entire fields of study surrounding genocides in general, but there's also Holocaust studies as well. And the purpose of learning about the Holocaust is so that we understand how nationalism manifests, what the conditions look like, and understand that there are certain markers when a society is moving in that direction. And the reason why you learn about this is so that you don't repeat these mistakes. He wants to debate. Can you take it? Yeah, of course. I would love to talk to Asmongold about this.
Asmongold does not want to
And
debate.
specifically educate his community on the matter.
Asmongold does not want to debate for many reasons. First of all, he's not going to have all the facts offhand like you would because he's not sweaty like that. Second of all, there's no point because you will just manipulate the audience like you're doing right now. It's so hard to debate with him because he's just going to throw, oh, you're a Nazi. Oh, you're sympathizing with this. Oh, you can't look at that opinion when you actually should be looking at that. You got. It's just so frustrating to deal with him.
This is funny. Make Germany great again. Decentralization is what will help me implement my plans. Apparently, Adolf Hitler came back and was popping on on Twitter earlier today. Yeah, he had a government badge too. Do you think the Holocaust will ever become irrelevant, as in people will stop bringing it up to justify things happening nowadays? If you're saying,
What?
do you think the Holocaust will ever
The Holocaust will become irrelevant and people stop bringing it up to justify things happening. What does that mean?
become irrelevant, as in people will stop bringing
The Holocaust will never be irrelevant until something horrible like that happens again.
it up to justify?
And it won't happen from America. It'll happen from North Korea. It'll happen from China. All these countries that we should be worried about actually catching on fire because they are like that 1933 and 1945 Germany.
Things happening nowadays. If you're saying that to be like, well, justifying the nation state of Israel and the development and the apartheid and the genocide, I think understanding the Holocaust is more important to understand the similarities of what Israel is currently engaging in. So no, I don't think the Holocaust should ever become irrelevant. I think it is more relevant now than ever before to truly understand how nationalism manifests in a country. It is quite disturbing to see otherwise liberal Zionists repeating Kahanist positions.
Dude, that word, it really just pissed me off because it's basically just a slur for these racist assholes to use.
Like never again, implying never again actually just means never again to Jews. That is the Kahanist position. Mayor Kahan, for those of you who don't know, is a right-wing Jewish supremacist terrorist, a far-right Jewish supremacist terrorist, a Jewish Nazi, if
Don't
you will.
know.
And seeing his attitude reflected in broader Israeli society is truly terrifying because it spells of
I really
the
don't care
Jewish
about the
power
Israel
party,
stuff.
like as in white power. It's the same thing. I want to see what Asman has to say. There is literally no reason to fucking go to school, study political science. Hey, congratulations to the DG.
Bro, this is Reactception, dude. There's Asmongold down there. I should put myself up here.
Years, okay? Diddy Jeers, you did it. #1 political commentator on the platform.
Hasan is really getting upset about this #1 political commentator.
I'm not.
He is. He totally is.
He is the #1 political commentator. I can't believe Asmongold still trying.
He says it in the same way, where it's like, oh yeah, you totally deserve first place, by the way. This is the guy who's the top political content creator and not me. That's how he says it.
I was to say he's apolitical. Hold on, let me put my apolitical hat on.
Has she ever heard Asmongold talk about, oh yeah, healthcare for everybody? He thinks healthcare should be basically paid for by the government. He thinks that we will have a income when AI takes over that will be standardized. Like all these left-wing takes that I don't 100% agree with, or I don't have an opinion I've formed yet on them, and he has them, and he's not against gays or anything like that. It's just I'm like personally I'm not against gays. I don't give a shit. You do you. Just don't shove it down my throat.
As an apolitical content creator, I think Asmongold claiming that he's not a political commentator is crazy. And he knows it too. We watch the same shit every day, brother. Am I also not a political commentator? Wait, hold on. Let me take the apolitical hat off. Now you can see I am a political commentator. Hold on. Let me put the apolitical hat on again. You might be mistaken to think I'm a political person because I'm wearing the apolitical hat. But
Asmongold does watch political content, but that does not make him a political content creator. Just because I make some music on the side does not make me... Just because I play an instrument on the side does not make me a musician. Like, overall, he's just a gaming channel. 90% of his stuff is gaming channels. Then he's a React channel. Then he's a political content creator / political reactor. If you want to go down that tier list. But it's a very... He's first, he's this. Then he's this. Then at the very bottom, he's also this.
But let's look at Asmongold's YouTube page, you know? Ice raids create ghost towns across New York City. Asmongold reacts. Elden Ring or Night Rain. You can tell this game is going to be good. Night Rain gameplay is crazy. Pokemon is going viral again. There's interspersed stuff there that is not inherently political, even though
He listed like two things. Two!
there is a political perspective that Asmongold maintains when talking about gaming in general. But if you were to say that this is a gaming channel, it'd be kind of wild at this point, right? JD
No.
Vance is warning to Europe, you're turning totalitarian. Trump is crashing out. RFK Jr. becomes Trump's national health secretary.
It also depends on how much news is happening, of course.
Asmongold isn't just a political commentator. Asmongold is a very successful political commentator. And I don't mean like, oh, what the fuck is happening? This is another, look at the weird queer folk type video. Asmongold is a more successful right-wing political commentator than fucking Ben Shapiro. He gets 50% lower views on his like gaming videos now. Okay? We're living through a fucking meme. Trump just released the Kraken, 2 million views. What the fuck is wrong with Twitch? 600,000 views. And it's like Twitch not banning me for pro-terrorism propaganda that
You should have been banned. At least it's 14-day ban. To be honest, Twitch does a lot of heavy lifting for his PR for some reason.
I was engaging in, which is ironic to say. When you fuck
That's not
around,
ironic.
Kai's going viral again.
How is that
President Trump's fucking
ironic?
brutal. I don't know why he thinks that you're upset about him being number one when right-wing commentators have always been above you. Yeah, I'm a leftist online. I never have taken my position for granted.
What do you mean? Twitter, Reddit, like all these places, even YouTube. You can't get away from these people. Little fucking leftists are everywhere, dude.
Just wanted to point this out just so people understand the idea that like Asmongold is not a political content creator is ridiculous. I think most people understand that.
Hasan is the #1 political commentator on the platform. He always has been. I cover some political issues. Hasan only covers political issues.
No,
This is
that's
true.
Like me saying I'm a gaming journalist because I watch the fucking state of play. This is not only wrong.
No, you're making a point for Asmongold because it's exactly like that with Asmongold. It's like saying he's a political streamer just because he's reacted like 2 things. Yes, exactly. Hasan states his views on politics. Asmongold reacts to politics. Exactly.
But I think it's also deliberately obtuse. And I think the reason why it's deliberately obtuse is because when you are doing political commentary, you now on Twitch, due to a lot of the pushback from the Diddy Gears and Dan Saltman and Sex Pestiny and the like. And even
I hate that he
you now have
says.
to put this tag
Why
on.
does he have this opinion that Destiny made Asmongold? Why does he think Destiny is so after him?
A content label.
He
Political
thinks
and
everybody
sensitive
wants to take him
social
down.
issues. I don't know if Asmongold puts the tag on when he does his commentary. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I truly don't know, and I don't think this chat is going to give me the correct answer. But I have to. I have it all the time. I have it on all the time because when I don't have it on, people immediately start mass reporting to try to get me banned.
Now, if he's mad that the videos that I do get more views or something, that's fine. That's okay. But I'm not trying to shit on him, and I never was. And also, by
What I
the
said
way,
before,
if
that's exactly what I said before when he called him a Nazi. Actually, Asmongold is giving him way too much leeway.
It's not me shitting on him when I say he's the largest political content creator. It's the truth.
if you
It seems so like, why is he so obsessed with calling him the largest political content creator? He doesn't.
go
He's not a
over to
political content
Destiny's
creator.
subreddit,
He sounds so
you'll
upset.
find that a lot of them really don't like me either.
They disagree with Asmongold on a lot of the stuff he says, but they're not above using Asmongold's community as a force to consistently attack people that they consider far greater enemies of their favorite content creator, Sex Pestiny.
What is
The
he
reason
talking
why I'm
about?
successful is because of Destiny. I find to be incredibly ironic.
Why does this guy think the whole world revolves around? The whole world wants to take him down. It's so crazy.
Hasan, because I think that Destiny really
Hasan's a
went out
paid
on a
actor.
limb.
His
I don't
son's
think you
paying the
understood
actors.
what I was saying there. I wasn't saying that he's successful because of Destiny. I was saying that, for example,
He was
on the
totally
elections
saying part of the
coverage,
reasons he's
Sex
successful
Pestiny and his community
is 'cause
had
of
actively
Destiny.
went out to every single advertiser and sent out false information about like Twitch banning Israeli accounts or whatever the fuck, right? Like actual libel that they had sent out to every news outlet possible, and they'd sent out to like every single
I'm also pretty sure that they did ban accounts from Israel joining Twitch. Like, it was an actual thing. I think this is actually just a lie from him.
advertiser of Twitch in an effort to try and get me banned. And they openly stated that this was their purpose. It was either to A, get Sex Pestiny unbanned from the platform, or B, get me banned before the election. Twitch didn't ban me, so shouts out to them.
Nope, Twitch did not ban you because they run PR for you for some reason.
But part of that, I think, led to Twitch taking me off the main page, like taking me off the algorithm, blacklisting me. for that reason, Asmongold on the night of the election got a shit ton of viewers, of course. Like, he was going
So
to
he
because
is
was one
saying
of
that the
top
reason
content creators on the
Asmongold's picked
platform,
is because
for
of
sure,
Destiny.
but
Like, what?
when someone went on twitch.tv without a logged account on election day, the only content creator that came up that was covering election day was Asmongold. That's it. That's a boost. That is a reality, right? If it wasn't significant,
This man,
regardless of the 300 and I think like what 14K viewership I got
this man has more hot takes than a flat earther. I swear to God.
for the entire day, who knows how high that number possibly would have been if I also was in the algorithm. People had to directly like click.
I should have been more popular. I should have been more popular. These guys are the reason why I'm not popular. I swear. Holy.
On twitch.tv/Hasan to get to my
The
fucking
earth is flat in
profile.
2 dimensions.
And
Yeah,
many
right,
people
brother.
did. Hundreds of thousands of people did. Like, that initiative still failed. But I think that process also gave a lot of people an alternative perspective, which is fine. If that's what you wanted, that's what simply all I'm saying. You wanted an alternative dissenting voice to the radical terrorism defense that I'm engaging in because I'm fucking anti-genocide.
You just
And
call
you got it.
Asmongold radical? It's
I remember Hasan
crazy.
coming on the Trainwrecks podcast and Destiny bringing him on stream, and I'm sure that there are probably even clips.
Destiny did make Hasan, by the way. I've been watching Destiny for a while. And he definitely made Hasan. And I've not really watched him in a couple, but he definitely made Hasan.
From back in the day.
I don't think it was Destiny that was responsible for me doing a lot of these collaborations.
It was Destiny. He doesn't want to admit it because he fucking hates Destiny, but it was Destiny.
Austin and Train personally asking me. But yes, Destiny did initially platform my terrorist ass. That is true. On this platform, at least.
Of Destiny and Hasan talking about how much he was appreciative of Destiny. It's ironic that I'm the person who is the beneficiary of DGG when Hasan was the one who originally was himself.
He seems to think that you
True.
political
Like,
was a
true.
personal beef instead of an accurate
Holy.
assessment. Yeah, it's not personal beef at all. It's just an accurate assessment.
All I'm saying is that there's a lot of people that were, and that Destiny himself spent a lot of time actually promoting and trying to, bring Hasan into the political culture of Twitch.
Yep.
And he helped Hasan build his channel at the beginning. He did. And I think that Hasan
Is it
probably
true?
would even acknowledge that.
I do acknowledge it. It's true.
Crazy that
It's
he
just a
actually
diversity
acknowledges
of
it.
opinion. Asmongold and I disagree with one another on virtually all political issues. There's some agreements there as well.
That is not true. There are so many that you guys agree on, except you are more extreme in his opinions.
But we disagree.
He agrees that AI will take over and we will have a uniformed system. He believes in that healthcare should be paid off not by private companies but by the government. He believes that education, I think he has I might be wrong about this, so feel free to correct me. I'm pretty sure he has a take where education should be paid for or something along those lines. So I don't know what he means that Asmongold does not have any takes that he agrees with when your takes agree with Asmongold but are more extreme. Asmongold says that you should be able to be gay. You should be able to be trans. Just don't shove it down my throat, just like you do. But it's just he's not as extreme about it. Hot take: Hasan is an industry plant. He was made and is now a bot that gets bribed by these crazy wackos to spread their brain around.
Virtually
I wouldn't be
everything.
surprised.
This is what these guys wanted. The centrist liberals wanted someone who had a disagreement with what they thought was the largest.
How does it make sense that the centralist liberals would want an extreme 1945 German forgiver, sympathizer? That doesn't make any sense. That does not line up with any central liberal views.
Threat to American democracy. This is not even about Asmongold, beyond the fact that he is, correctly, as I've stated, the largest political content creator on this platform. It is pretty crazy that Asmongold watched that fucking Ethan Klein video.
He's unhappy that I watched the content.
No.
He's so unhappy. He's going to say no, but he's so unhappy. And guess what? He gave Hasan way too much slack, especially with how much he was. No, actually, didn't really give him much slack on that, but he really did glaze that man.
Oh, I hope
Education
he
should be paid
watches
for
the
since
full
it's the right
video
for the
here,
system to be done good.
because I wasn't unhappy that you watched the video. You can watch it all day. I don't
Yeah,
give a shit.
I kind of
It's
agree.
just funny that his
But I'm talking
fans
like college
who are
is what
literally
Asmongold
saying
is
the
talking about.
Nazis are based
I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong in that.
into my chat since he watched that video to be like, why aren't you banned yet, dude, for your anti-Semitic terrorism?
Now, I understand why he's unhappy. I think that if I was him...
Oh, wait, why didn't he play that fully? Wait, why did he skip through it?
And I actually tried to give him the benefit of the doubt the entire time, because I try to maintain consistency, I try to maintain a lack of bias, and I try to maintain a degree of decorum.
By the way, this is true. This is something that I have.
Yes, Asmongold is really good at keeping his morals.
A very strange fellow. He's a very interesting guy. And for years and years, as a lot of people have viciously come after me and said a whole bunch of different lies, in most circumstances, he has not actually taken the bait. So my disagreement on Asmongold is not around.
Asmongold is giving him way too much slack. It's so surprising that he's so willing to call Asmongold a 1945 Germany sympathizer. If you catch my drift, I'm trying not to say it too many times for a YouTube video, but goddamn,
decorum or the optics of the situation. My disagreement on Asmongold is purely politics. It's pure political. I do not agree with his worldview. I do not agree with the audience that he is cultivating. I think it's dangerous.
Asmongold has so many people on both sides. It's not even funny. Like if you look at it, if you genuinely look at his audience, and when he's talking about ICE, he'll have people disagreeing with him. When he's talking about the gay stuff, he'll have people disagreeing with him. Like there's always people agreeing and disagreeing with him. He does not ban people who disagree with him, unlike Hasan here, who likes to live in a bubble.
To make these kinds of opinions, whether it be transphobic opinions, whether it be anti-migrant opinions, whether it be the
Did he just say Asmongold has transphobic opinions?
Cultivating, I think it's dangerous.
Oh, he's cultivating transphobic opinions, of course. Asmongold, the guy who says, yeah, be gay, I support gay people, and I went to gay pride marches when I was in high school, is the guy promoting
whether it be transphobic opinions, whether it be anti-migrant opinions, whether it be these like...
He's not spreading anti-migrant opinions, he's spreading anti-illegal immigration opinions, which is good, because guess what? If you are an illegal immigrant, you are a criminal by definition. Illegal means criminal.
Like right-wing opinions, creating habitable ground for these kinds of opinions.
I don't care if you've entered the country and done nothing. You've committed a crime. You've already committed a crime.
Opinions, whether it is because you're getting a lot of relevancy out of it, whether it's whatever your purposes are, or whether you
I do kind of agree with that.
I still think it's harmful. Part of that is because a lot of people don't understand.
Not what he's saying.
Politics.
I'm reacting to chat,
and
by the way.
Because they don't understand politics or don't necessarily care about politics, they just kind of look at clout and they see Asmongold as the top political content creator. And so many of these like centrist content creators will either because they want raids or because they want to collaborate or because they're afraid of offending.
He is not extreme. Oh my god, it hurts my head. He manipulates his chat so hard. And it's so subtle. So like if you weren't paying attention, like if you were already deep, if you're too deep, his subtle, it seems obvious to us, but it's subtle to other people and it would definitely trick you, and it's so scummy.
Asmongold's audience.
It's subtle manipulation.
Even if Asmongold doesn't weaponize his audience in the same way that like other content creators do, people basically develop this attitude that this kind of opinion will actually get you more attention. You'll be showered with praise and you'll get all this attention. And I think
that's not true. Asmongold has said himself that there are plenty of people that he has friends that are friends with him behind the scenes that will not collaborate with him because he is a political streamer or he has takes that started drama. So that is not true. People are not trying to be with him just for views. In fact, it's the opposite. People can be with him with views, but are scared of being around him in the public eye.
That creates this environment where content creators will start.
Hasan never, or Asmongold never directs his audience to other people to attack people. Hasan does it every stream. So true. We were just reacting to a. This is a good plug. We were just reacting to a video about the trash taste. Click somewhere. About Hasan literally sending his audience to right the wrong as a brigade, and it's so embarrassing. It's so cringe.
Just stick to your echo chamber and let the man have his. People understand politics. Understanding politics.
I don't think Asmongold's an echo chamber. If you want to go to, what's the Jewish guy, right-wing Jewish guy, he's an echo chamber. If you want to go to Hasan, he's an echo chamber. Asmongold's very neutral, in my opinion, and you get a lot of different opinions watching his stuff and looking at his YouTube comments and Twitch streams. So I think this is insane to call him an echo chamber.
Politics doesn't mean they have to be on your side. I don't think you understand anything if you are saying that, oh, just stick to your echo chamber. And I don't think you understand. I'm saying that Asmongold's politics are wrong. They're not only wrong, but
they're wrong. Your opinion is wrong. That's so fucking stupid.
They're based out of false data. They're incorrect. And it leads to a lot of cruel action down the line. That's my disagreement. It's very simple. It is a political disagreement. We can agree to disagree, my man. That is a cop-out, chatter. You are engaging in a very classic...
He's noticing it's not worth even arguing with you because you will not give up. You will just keep spouting the same bullshit and manipulating people. There's no reason to engage with you.
Cop-out. We can agree to disagree is a coward's way out of this conversation. You came in with a bold statement. You said, people understand politics. Understanding politics doesn't mean they have to be on your side. That's not what I'm saying. I don't know why you are demanding that everyone go back to their neat little hug boxes and not...
That is a little weird, to be fair.
Interlocutors in the marketplace of ideas.
But to best another
that's what a lot
is
of
so
people
weird as
wanted
well
in the
because it's
past, I
opinions.
thought. Right-wingers especially. No, it's not. They don't. You just want them to be on your side so bad, but it's okay. You're still cool. Again, for someone who chooses not to understand what I'm saying, you are consistently moving the conversation away from
God, if not his view, it's wrong. So true. Big real.
I'm saying that the popularity contest element of this only works because so many people are inherently disinterested in politics. They always have to add something else onto it. That's why a lot of people who think that they are invested in political ideology or political movements unironically find themselves in drama-centered content consumption because it makes it more palatable. It makes it easier to watch when there's drama associated with content creators. You're doing it right now. You're basically proving what I'm talking about. But isn't that what you do? If you think that out of the 8 hours of political commentary that I do, it's mostly drama-focused, you would be wrong. If that's...
It's not drama focused, I would say, but you do spend a lot of time talking about other political streamers. Nice job picking your nose. Perfect freeze frame. Should use this as a thumbnail. But you do spend a lot of time picking on other content creators. So I don't know.
If this is something you're truly questioning, then the answer is no. I spend most of my political I rarely do this exact thing that I'm doing currently, which is addressing another content creator's political opinions, or I actually stay away from that routinely. People try to get me to do it all the time. I try to stay away from this.
I think a lot of, I think like Asmongold, I think there's a lot of people who actually do it based off of beliefs. I do think Hasan does it to kind of like get more views, and I think he's gotten more and more extreme because he's seen more and more reward out of it. So
I think it's inherently unproductive. Anyway, let's continue.
When I'm talking about something, that I do so in the most authentic and accurate way. Now,
in general, yeah,
happen.
fair enough.
It was not written in Jewish, for example. Yeah, of course mistakes happen. But the goal is to be authentic, and the goal is to be accurate. And the issue here is that I actually think that Hasan should be thanking me for watching the content nuke. Because I think that I'm probably one of the only people
That's a crazy thing
that would
to say.
actually give it a fair shake.
To be fair, I'm not even going to deny this. I don't think he's wrong about that. I do agree with him that he probably is.
He did give a very fair shake. Yeah, I know, humble much.
And still disagree with Ethan Klein. XQC would probably watch it, very rarely disagree with Ethan, mostly just say like, oh, it's crazy. Hasan is doing this stuff. Asmongold and I do not have, I guess, personal hatred for one another. It's more so political.
It really seems like you hate him. You just called him a sympathizer of Germany from 1945. What do you mean?
Disagreements.
And say that he should be banned for everything that he's ever done, which is something that
I am pretty sure if I met a 1945 German sympathizer, I would hate him. And I feel like Hasan would hate him even more. So I mean that you are basically saying you hate him when you called him that, and you did call him that.
I haven't done. So he should be saying thank you for me watching this and providing a.
I wouldn't say that. His chat kept coming in here to be like, "You're anti-Semitic terrorism lover. You should be banned. Why aren't you banned yet?" Meanwhile,
I mean, to be fair, Hasan, you have been very positive towards people who are national terrorists. I mean, you.
Why is he laughing? It's just true.
Oh man, damn. Well, thank you for the charitability, man. That's crazy. Bro, look at your screen. They're saying W based about Hitler.
Again, you lose a lot of context when it comes to text chat. It sucks. These guys should be banned. Just because you don't have the context is kind of a little worrying, but they did get banned. They are banned. They should be banned. But we also got to think we don't know if they're actually joking, trying to be funny or edgy or anything like that.
Like, what the fuck?
This isn't a debatable reality.
He's
You
assuming
interview
they're
the
all
terrorists.
being
That is a
serious.
debatable reality, I guess. Just like you're wrong to say they were writing in Jewish. The person that I interviewed that I thought could
Yeah, right.
potentially be a Houthi when I interviewed him, which at the time wasn't even a
Hitler
fucking
is a
part
big
of the
L,
official
but you could
terror
say
watch
W in a
list, by
joking
the
way or being edgy.
He's
It's
not
like-
a part of the Ansar Allah movement. He is not a Houthi. He revealed that information
Maybe.
to me
I'd
on
have to go
the
back.
interview that I conducted. And not only that, but also numerous outlets interviewed him afterwards and even reached out to me. The
You are not a journalist, Hasan. And you were not doing journalist things. You were glazing him up so hard.
New York Times literally reached out so they could get access to this person, just so we're clear. I know that people just basically repeat this falsehood over and over and over
It's
again.
not a
with the
falsehood.
hopes that, like,
You called
we
him
will check
Luffy.
them on this, but it's just not the case. You can't just be like, nah, this person's a terrorist.
You
he looks
watched
like
them
one,"
raid a boat
just you
live.
fucking assuming that every single person from Yemen that has a gun and the highest gun per capita
It's- yeah,
country
the
after
Fire
United States
King,
of
it's
America is
insane.
automatically a terrorist. Sorry, he's just a fucking terrorist. Okay, well, you're wrong. I don't know if anybody cares
He's a
about the fucking
terrorist. What do you
truth.
mean?
Even if Rashid was a part of the Ansar Allah movement, why would he even deny it? It's the fucking government. Exactly. That's what's so stupid about this.
I defended you interviewing the terrorists. I even defended you with that.
Thank you for defending me interviewing a terrorist.
I said it's okay.
You should be able to get extreme opinions. Extreme opinions should be able to speak for themselves, and everybody should be able to say, that's dumb. But the thing is, you did not interview him. You glazed him for 30 minutes straight in the interview. Very
because I
much
want
like a
people to be able to
journalist,
talk to
apparently.
Did you know
people.
he was not Houthi before accepting the interview? No, I didn't. I thought he was. I thought he could be. I've explained this before. I defend on principle. Like, if I interviewed an actual member of the Ansar Allah movement, I would have, if I had the opportunity to do so at the time, I would have done it. The thing that fucking annoys me about this process is not that people are saying, like, you glazed up a terrorist or whatever. What's frustrating to me is that they're saying he's a fucking terrorist. They're just, like, falsely claiming that this person is a part of the Ansar Allah movement. If he was on the terror list, for example, would you have still interviewed him? Yes. Yes, 100%. Depending on who
Did you
we're
research?
talking
Right?
about.
Okay, so he's either saying, yes, I interviewed a terrorist, or yes, I interviewed a terrorist, but I didn't do any research beforehand. I thought he was just this guy.
Terror watch list.
so
the
dumb.
dynamic would,
Doesn't
of course,
stop
be
that
different.
you
Here's
glaze.
what I mean by this.
And he knew it was a terrorist because he even said, oh, we're about to interview a Houthi rebel. I don't know if you've seen the clips, but he was like, oh, I'm about to interview
Nelson
a Houthi
Mandela
rebel.
was on the terror watch list until 2008. If I had the opportunity to interview Nelson Mandela, it would be a positive interview. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a difference between understandable figures that are terrorists on the terror watch list, like Osama fucking bin Laden, versus people like Nelson Mandela, for example.
He just called Osama bin Laden a terrorist. Let's remember that he did say 9/11 was deserved like 6 months ago.
Let's continue.
But I didn't see the whole thing, and I didn't realize you glazed him that hard, man. You didn't have to do that.
Once again, not a terrorist, just wrong.
He was like, clickbait,
Also,
let's
yeah,
go.
You know who else is a fucking terrorist? Luigi Mangione. If you think I wouldn't have a positive interview with Luigi Mangione, you're wrong, okay? I'm beginning to find out that maybe he is not as charitable. He has been. Fucking Chad's go.
You don't need to have a positive. You can say, okay, well, what you did is whatever. It's bad though. What are your opinions? Like a journalist would stay neutral, and just ask neutral questions to find out more about their way of thinking instead of saying, "Oh, amazing! You've got amazing opinions. Oh my God, you're like Pirate Luffy when you took over that boat with the helicopter. Oh my God." It's so dumb.
Going based
Yeah.
Nazis. But hey, no, wait. That's what a lot of my naysayers wanted, though. They wanted someone.
Now, I'm not going to bring up the point when Ethan was getting attacked in Hasan's
True.
chat.
It's cool that I already addressed this earlier today by saying, yeah, if my fucking chat was calling Asmongold a Nazi, there's only so much moderation I can engage in when he's, aligning, at least in this clip, ideologically.
Again, you are calling him a sympathizer of Germany from 1945, which is just not true. at all. I've gone over reasons why you need to address the opinions from the past and their reasons for doing things and their motives. It's just so stupid. It makes me repeat myself so many times.
With the position that the Nazis were presenting when they were engaging in the book burnings.
Because you have to look at their motives if you're going to look at why they burned the books. They weren't just burning your gay books. They were burning all books that were not German culture, not German language, and not written by Germans. Quote unquote. Now we know that everybody born in Germany, raised in Germany, from the culture, from the age of 0 to whatever, is a German. But that's not how they thought back then, and we got to look at it from then. We can still say it's bad, though. It's bad. It's really bad. They shouldn't have burned any books. But that's just how they thought. It's crazy that he thinks you can't do that.
During that, these like medical research was un-German. I defended Ethan for quite some time, regularly, told my community to shut the fuck up, said it was unproductive to yell about Ethan, that Ethan was not your enemy. There is probably an hour-long compilation out there that you can find throughout the entire past year where I was like, I don't care.
I don't know what you mean by
there's
that.
a real situation here with Israel. I don't care about like drama. I don't care about what Ethan is saying, and that he is not your enemy, that you should stop going after Ethan over and over again. Very charitable. And the position that I had when I had that conversation with Ethan was Ethan basically saying that the Jewish Voice for Peace people were capos, collaborators of the Nazis. When you say that, people are going to think you're a Zionist. There is nothing I can do about that.
Again, really just a slur for Jewish people, and they love to say that you shouldn't use slurs, but here he is using one.
That's my position, and it's still my position. Just like if Asmongold keeps putting out videos where he's, glazing Donald Trump and saying he's based, or watching videos about how immigrants are destroying the culture of Germany or destroying the culture of Poland, and Western superiority must be maintained. And
wait, let me back that up. What did he just say?
Keeps putting out videos
where
he's, glazing Donald Trump and saying he's based, or watching videos about how immigrants are destroying the culture of Germany or destroying the culture of Poland. And
this is true. These are not German people coming to Germany illegally.
Western superiority must be maintained, and he agrees with that and goes, yeah, this guy's got great ideas. Yeah, I agree with him. Yeah, inevitably.
Okay, I don't get what's wrong with protecting your borders or allowing people in when they're legally allowed in. You can go through the legal process. I'm not against immigration. I'm against illegal immigration. And Asmongold's very much the same way. I've watched a whole bunch of him. He's very much the same.
Inevitably, people are going to assume that you agree with them. Like you said, you are agreeing with Nazis. So, of course, people are going to think you're...
Again, Asmongold is not against immigrants. He is against illegal immigrants.
Fucking Nazi. When talking about the terror watch list a few weeks ago, you said something along the lines of that even the IRA were on the terror watch list. Do you think the IRA aren't terrorists? I'm confused. Like, when you say, do you think the IRA aren't terrorists?
Who's the IRA?
Do you agree with Irish reunification or not? Like, do you agree with British colonial occupation of Ireland?
Irish.
What the kind of position is this?
I believe that they can make up that on their own. If England or if Ireland really wanted to, I'm sure they can come to a vote and bring it up to the Parliament of England, because there is, I think it's Dublin, it's part of the UK. There's so many ways to get around this now, and UK is so left-wing that they throw people away for talking on the internet, which I know Hasan has said that's not true, but I've literally seen it.
Terrorism is a political designation that is kept vague deliberately so that colonial power or the more powerful party can just deny habeas corpus and basic human rights to the people that they've declared a part of the bad group. I'm going to be real, I support the IRA, but you can't pretend they weren't a terror organization. No, that's
I don't know enough about the IRA to talk about it, so I'm just going to let him talk.
That's the whole point. The ANC were considered terrorists. They were fighting against apartheid South Africa. The IRA were considered terrorists. They were fighting against British colonial occupation. That's the entire reason for why this designation
Most people don't
exists. If terrorism is simply doing violence to a civilian population, which is like what I do agree with, like as far as the designation, I agree. I think that the vague designation does not ever actually feature state violence, which it should. But I think at its base, if you want to consider something...
I'm not saying he's right about these things, by the way. I'm just saying anything where I'm like, I'm just going to talk, I don't know enough. I just don't know enough. I'm not going to fact check him. I have to edit these videos myself, so I don't have the time to fact check him either on stream. So I don't know anything about the IRA. I'm just going to let him talk. take it with a grain of salt.
Something terrorism, you should consider it doing violence to a majority civilian population with the deliberate effort of making political change. If
Yes, terrorism is targeting civilians, just like the Houthis have done to. What was the date? It's like October something. It was a horrible time that he has basically said, "Oh yeah, well it's kind of okay that they did that at the music festival." Guess what? They targeted innocent civilians, and you were an apologizer for them.
if that is something that you consider terrorism, and that's, I think, as close as to the truth as you can get with respect to what terrorism is, then the American government would be the arch terrorists of the planet. The reason why I consistently show you,
I do think there's more to it
people,
than that too, but
movements, groups,
I'm trying to use his definition to take down his point. If he's going to be a sympathizer for the thing that happened in October, and he's going to give that definition of terrorism where it's targeting civilian groups, bro. Oh, I have an ad. I don't know if but if he's going to use that, it's like you are a terrorist sympathizer, and you agreed with terrorism, and you gave me the definition of terrorist. October, that music festival literally matches your definition.
that were considered terrorists by states that we now understand, now that time has passed,
So you are a terrorist sympathizer by your own definition.
like they weren't actually bad or wrong and they had a moral position that was correct, is so you understand current instances of violence that are coming from non-state actors. That shit is food for people who feed on your content. You should talk about revolutionaries. I do. In the American Revolution, the founding fathers were considered terrorists by the British Empire. In Vietnam, the Viet Cong were considered terrorists as the American military was dumping napalm on Vietnamese villages.
I could see both of these
I'll end it
happening,
on
so
this note,
don't know
this
100%.
beautiful note that I think many even reactionary.
I think he's trying to say that the terrorist name, the terrorist tag, is used very politically as well, which I don't doubt. But even just using your definition proves that you are a terrorist sympathizer. Like, okay.
Agree with.
Smug, greedy, well-fed white people have invented a language to conceal their sins. It's as simple as that. The CIA doesn't kill anybody anymore. They neutralize people. Or they depopulate the area. The government doesn't lie. It engages in disinformation.
I don't know what he's watching, so I'm gonna call that it for that. But that's crazy. I still think I watched a Hasan-based video, literally edited from him, full context, and I still think Asmongold was 100% right. It's crazy, dude. Feel free to leave what you think in the comments. Also, Bumpierbag, twitch.tv, 2 o'clock on the 28th. See ya.